So what a beautiful morning it is. I spent the night in this tent on top of one of the English Lake District mountains, High Pike. It's in the Caldbeck northeast area of the Lake District. A relatively quieter area compared to Central Lakes, and it's been a wonderful night, really nice, a little bit windy at times, but very clear skies. We're in the middle of summer, and it was quite warm last night, really. It's a beautiful morning, you see the blue skies, and I had a really good night's sleep in the tent. It's the first time I've had it out, first time I've slept in it, and I thought it was fitting for what is a very high technical tent to have its first outing on top of a mountain. Now, I think the best thing I can do is show you just around the tent and talk a little bit about it. I'd got here later on in the evening, so I only had about an hour, actually 3/4 of an hour before sunset. And to be honest, I just needed to get the tent up. But let's have a little walk around it, and I'll start talking about what's pretty special about this tent. So this Ultra 1 was introduced in 2024, I believe. So it's relatively new. We're in August 2025 now. I haven't seen that many reviews on YouTube about this tent. And I don't think it's been a big seller either, to be fair. But it's their introduction into high spec, ultralight backpacking, trekking, cycling type lightweight, ultra lightweight tent. So let's have just a walk around it, and I'll just tell you a little bit about it as we go. So you've got with these tents, you've got a trail weight of 881 gram. Now that's without its bags for the actual tent, poles, pegs. A packed weight is 900 gram. Sorry, I'm filming into the sun here. But pack weight is 900 gram, so that's everything packed, ready to go. The pack size itself is 42 by 12 centimetres, but actually I've ended up splitting the pack, so it just packs into my backpack better, and for deployment when I get to a pitch. You see, it's got a bit of an odd shape, really, and it's just designed that way for maximum space inside and to let the winds sweep over it. I'll put the dimensions of the tent, interior and exterior, up on screen so that you can see them. It has a vent on the rear, and that's closable. And that's the only vent it actually has, but it has scooped bottoms to the tent, as you can see. The fly itself is a 10D sill nylon ripstop material, so it's very light, ultra lightweight, very thin, but it is ripstop, and with it being sill, it's very water repellent. The flooring of the tent is actually 5,000 hydrostatic head. I brought the ground sheet, but it's not really necessarily. All the material is relatively thin on the bathtub flooring. So we have 7 of these ultralight alloy pegs. And they're used on all 4 corners, 2 there, 2 at that end, and then 2 for the vestibule, 1 there, and 1 there where the zip is, and another peg just to hold the fly out on the rear. Now, just while I'm here, this fly on the rear actually comes away from the tent quite a bit, so there's quite a bit of storage in there. Just to let you see. So just seven pegs, and the zipper is just here, and that has a long tie cord which you can just slip over the peg. That's easily reachable from inside, just to stop the zip creep. Now, for an ultralight tent that's 900 grams or less, this is a framed tent, and it has a little mini crossbow. So all that for 900 gram. To be honest, that's that's as light as some tarps that you find. So I'll just open the tent to show you inside now. Very nice zip action. The door has 2 tie points, here and here. But like a lot of these tents, especially with ultralight material, they're not that great tight, to be honest. They just end up flapping. So what I do with this, I just hook it over the pole. If it's windy, if it's not windy, I just leave it there, and then just leave it like that. And I found last night when it was a bit, there was a little bit of wind, that worked really well. You can actually just fold the whole thing back. Just tucking it over the pole. And then you've got that lovely full access there to the light. So you're letting a lot of light in, especially when it's nice and warm. You could even sleep with it in that position, so you've got lots and lots of mesh venting. It still leaves you with a tiny little bit of space there that's covered. Overall, the porch is really big. For a small tent, the porch is huge. Now, as you can see, it's mostly mesh inner, and it's black. So it's like a black, very fine mesh. That's really good because from a distance, inside the tent, you can see out easily, just like any mesh. From outside, especially at a distance, you can't really see inside as well. So there's a degree of privacy there. Got a nice zip action as he snags it, and this ties back as well. So that's a nice wide opening, and on the inside I'll just show you so you can just see. You've got a single hook there for hanging your lamp. To be honest, because there's not a lot of headroom in here, I found that hook a bit irritating. And you've got one pocket, quite a decent size, large pocket really for a small tent here. And you can actually see the storage space you've got that side. You've no access from inside the tent, but you can very quickly put some stuff in there. Your boots would go in there easily. I'll show you the vestibule from a pegged out point of view. So I've just put the cap in there for size and scale, but my 50 litre Rab Muon backpack was in there, and it still left the rest of this space here. Huge vestibule for a small tent. And as I say, it was quite windy last night, but what I found was that the wind was coming in from southeast, which is that direction. And although this was obviously being forced a little bit with the wind, because I should have orientated the tent in that direction, it didn't actually come in as far as I was expecting. So it was just blowing a little bit, but maybe only in about an inch or so. So that was good. Yeah, it's a very pleasant tent. I've had various one-man tents, and Some of them are very roomy, height-wise, but not as stealthy, not as good in the wind as this would be, and was last night. And I had a real comfortable night's sleep, to be honest with you. Yeah, I like it. So I'm just going to take the fly off and I can show you the poles. And you can see the inner in its erected form. Something I hadn't shown you was the attachments. So the poles in each corner accept these little clips by just inserting it onto the end of the pole. So with this one, you've got the footprint, which is an extra. It's got the inner and it's got the outer. So I'm just removing the outer. And it's also got two connectors on either end and little pole attachment points from the fly. So you can see the structure of the tent now, just pegged out without the fly, and it's a very stable tent. Now it's 3 season, obviously because of the mesh, but in height of summer, in warmer conditions, this will be brilliant. And if you have the right gear on inside in winter, then you can keep warm. The right mat, the right bag, thermals. But it is a 3-season tent. You can see the pole structure, and it's a carbon fibre hubbed pole structure. So it's a one piece with hubs. The carbon fibre is what makes it ultralight, but also very strong. And remarkably, for a tent that weighs about not far off some tarps, you've got the pole structure, but you've also got a crossbar. Now that crossbar gives rigidity and it gives you headroom. Now in this tent, you can sit up. 5'9", I can sit up easily in this tent. You can see that it's got this unusual shape, and I presume that's to ensure it's got some wind protection and getting maximum height out of the tent. Sort of quirky design, but it works. You can see the inner is held on with these clips, and they just very easily fasten on. It has 2 clips on either side, black to black on this side and red to red on that side. That part is longer than this part. There's a central hub there, and just to give you that rigidity, it's got a little strap there from the inner to the hub. Actually, that's something I've looked at that could actually, with a bit of adaptation, could be lifted. So that could be lifted, and I think that's easily done without any modification. Just double strap it round, and that'll just give an extra 2 or 3 centimetres. So I've got to say there's very little to dislike about this tent. Just by the nature of it being a low profile tent, the headroom inside is not great, but if you want a low profile stealthy tent, then you're going to have to accept that. The hook, minor thing, but the hook's a bit of an irritation, to be honest. It would have just been better with a tiny section of ultralight cordage that you could hook onto. Like a washing line, but short. Other than that, it's a brilliant tent. I really like it. I can see no other fault with this tent. One thing I didn't mention to you was that there are no guy line points or guy lines. So this tent has no guy lines. But they say that with the design of the tent, the way they have designed this tent in shape, structure, it does not need guy lines. Now, at this point, I'd say it's not a mountaintop tent, but I'm on top of a mountain. And it was a little bit windy last night, and the tent wasn't moving. So I'm not so sure. I certainly think in stormy winter conditions, it might not be the best of tents. But for the 3 season, I think they've probably got it about right, actually. But the guy line thing, that's going to be interesting over time to see how that works. I bought this tent. Well, there is a story. I bought one of these, brand new from Alpkit. Got it home, set it up, sat in it, and I took a almost instant. Well, I loved the tent, but I took a dislike to the headroom. It just felt as if it was the wrong tent for me to do backpacking. So I actually took it back. Alpkit are a great company to deal with. I took it back and got refunded. I then rethought that decision and realised I had made a wrong decision for the wrong reasons. Now, with my motorcycle camping, it's nice to have that headroom, nice to have a bit of space, it's good. But backpacking, personally, I want my tent to be as low profile as possible, so you can camp in more places. And I realised I'd made a mistake. And I was about to go rebuy the tent back again, and I saw one on eBay. I don't buy a lot of eBay, but this tent was advertised as having been unused. Basically, it just been somebody had done what I'd done, bought it, regretted it, I presume for the same reason, and sold it. So these tents retail at £300. Currently, August 2025, Alpkit are selling them at about $250, and I bought this one at $150, second hand. But and when it came, it hadn't been used. So sorry, Alpkit. I was on my way back to you to buy my tent back again. But anyway, I'm so pleased that I decided to buy it again, having made a wrong decision. So why do I think it's really good? The low profile nature of it is a massive bonus for backpacking or stealth camping. The technical specification of this tent is superb. The carbon fibre poles, people say, well, they could break. Well, I'd break. But Alpkit is a good company to deal with, and I'm sure they'd replace or repair. You do have a pole repair sleeve as well, which helps if you're out in the field. Personally, I think these carbon fibre poles are up to the job. I've seen very few reviews on this tent, but one review I saw was that it was very hard to put the carbon fibre poles together, and it's not. Just take your time. You've got to be careful. Just take your time. and it goes together as easy as anything. I mean, aluminium pulls, snap together. These don't snap together. You've got to position and insert, but that's not a disadvantage. So the fly of this tent is very high spec. The sill nylon has no need for additional chemical treatment. So it doesn't have the DWR. It's free from PFCs and from fire retardant chemicals. It's got none of the chemicals in. And by the nature of its material, that's where it gets its waterproofness from. The inner mesh is a very fine and, as I say, black mesh. And that's good from a privacy point of view, from a distance. Less able to see inside. Very nicely built. The aluminium pegs are very lightweight and capable of most occasions. But I think if you were going out in very windy conditions, certainly I would prefer to use some longer, different pegs. But there's only 7 of them. There's only 7 needed. So there's only 7 of them. So putting in some ultralight, I've got some Sea to Summit ultralight longer pegs, more robust than these. So it's not going to add much weight. And just from a livability point of view, I know I've mentioned about height limitations because of just the nature of the fact it's a low profile tent, but you can still sit up in it. At 5'9", you can sit up in it. If you're taller, you're going to be, your head's going to be bouncing off the top. But for me, it's a comfortable tent to sit in. You can move around in the tent. There's enough space. Because of this, you've got a little bit of space to move, to get your clothes on, to get your sleeping bag sorted, middle of the night stuff when you have to get up and get back in and sort things out. All can be done. There's enough space either at the bottom or the top of your sleep mat or my sleep mat to store some bits of gear, just your inner tent stuff, some clothes. For a small ultralight tent, the vestibule is huge. It's bigger than some of the other tents. Well, it's as big as like an MSR tent. And that's twice the weight. Yeah, it'd be twice the weight. So it's a big vestibule, really usable vestibule. And then you've got the mini vestibule at the other side. Well, it's not really, it's just a shelter. But you can put things in there. It's enough for boots. You can almost get a backpack in there if it's an ultralight, smaller backpack, say a 30, 40 litre type. But I think you'd be better in here. Certainly boots can go in there. Trekking poles, my trekking poles went in there. I had some extra water bottles, they went in there because I wasn't going to use them. Anything you're not going to use directly, you can just pop around there. Did I mention the weather's beautiful? Top of a mountain in the English Lake District in the north of England in summer, and it usually rains, cloud, sometimes gets sun, but this is beautiful. So that's all I can really say about the tent at the moment. One night's use, top of a mountain, and it's worked very well. I'll catch you on the next video.